Misión legendaria. Vamos allá. Dirígete al Arca de la Perla. Paimon y tú reconocieron un rostro familiar cuando subieron a bordo del Arca de la Perla. A ver de dónde tenemos que ir. Ya llegamos. Ah, el señor aquí está.
Oh, I didn't think I would see you here.
Ah, el señor Sogri.
Are these two your friends?
Yes, we had the fortune of meeting not too long ago. They are quite a knowledgeable and talented pair, and a pleasure to be around. Traveler, we were just discussing the history of Rex Lapis. Would you like to listen?
La historia de Rex
This good
Lapis.
sir
El mismo.
seems not to appreciate the almighty power of the Lord of Geo. As a professional archaeologist, I'm inclined to correct some of his... We are discussing the whereabouts of the first Mora.
Del primer Mora.
First Mora?
As everyone knows, the Lord of Geo taught the ancient people of Liyue the craft of smelting. Today, Liyue holds the sole right to cast Mora in the entire continent of Teyvat.
According to my research, as well as my own hypothesis, I believe that this coin of unique historical significance has been for example, perhaps the Qixing who control the Liyue use it in some kind of unknown ceremony they hold when they come to power.
No. My research indicates that the first Mora is a cat of the world's first...
Mucho Mora, coño.
Dagger and a sword?
Una daga y una espada.
Well, buy the book when it comes out to read the full story.
I can't say I agree. Let us not speak of the authenticity of the dagger and sword first. But Mora and money came... Rex Lapis just meant for Mora to serve as a catalyst. For the world's first Mora is probably just an ordinary coin created by Rex Lapis.
Mucho Mora.
No, I...
Es lo único que me molesta.
Do you think you understand the Lord
Todos
of
hablan de
Geo
Mora, okay.
more than me?
I know, but
Well then,
that is...
Okay, then tell me.
Pero que haya
Why
Geo no
would the
tiene
Lord...
Mora.
There's a simple
la creó.
explanation, really. To the god...
Oh,
I mean, I am talking about Rex
Es
Lapis.
que él es el Rex Lapis.
Excuse me, sir. I have some questions about archaeology. Can we find somewhere quiet to chat? I mean, if it's okay with you.
Oh, it's no problem at all. But may my friend accompany us?
Of course. They can come if that's what pleases you, sir.
Sal Flore. Activado. A ver. Tenemos que ir. Ve a la pompa de barco para hablar con Wang Yang. Vamos a ver qué dice Wang Yang.
What I'm about to say is a bit disrespectful of the Lord of Geo and would draw a lot of angry looks. Your argument just now exhibited acuteness of speech and thought. So I have a question for you. Perhaps you will answer differently from other scholars.
Let's not analyze it in terms of good versus evil. Rex Lapis placed great importance on the integrity of contracts.
Right! The Lord of Geo wouldn't kill the innocent.
But when I was doing some research, I learned about the legend of the god of salt.
De la leyenda de la diosa de la
The god
sal.
of salt, Havria, was a very
Havria.
kind god. But she encountered Morax one day in battle. Morax used a rather underhanded trick to assassinate her.
What?
Es una parte muy extraña. El creador de la mora no tiene mora. Eso es rarísimo.
This bit of history is a long
Puede
story.
que no le guste la verdad cuando
But
la
you may not
escuche.
like the truth when you...
Don't worry, please tell me what you know. This event...
No, it's just... Where...
Ah, bueno.
over here, Mr. Zhongli. I've been looking for you. So
Fatui.
you're over here all this time.
Put down your weapon and stay back. Otherwise, Paimon's reporting you to the...
First of all, I'm not holding a weapon. There's no need to overreact now. I'm simply an archaeological researcher from
Snezhnaya.
Snezhnaya.
The Fatui say that every time.
But this time, I registered with the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs. I will be conducting an archaeological survey here. The result, I heard that Wangsheng Funeral Parlor had a consultant named Zhang Li, with immense knowledge of ancient history and archaeology.
So you mean to say that this is work for the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor? Yes? Well, since it's work, I don't have a choice.
Of course you would be such a reasonable man. Well then, let's head out now, shall we?
Wait, if you are studying archaeology, can I go too? I am also.
That will give us a chance to continue the topic we were just discussing. Oh, and you should tag along too. This experience may be of help to you on your future adventures. It is a story from before the rise of the Seven. Although the god of salt has already perished, it will still be a meaningful experience for you.
Wait. This is an archaeological expedition, not a tour group.
But this friend of mine has a treasure-finding talent, surpassed by no one.
Oh? What talent?
If my friend espies a treasure chest,
Hey, Paimon's good at that too.
Well, that is quite enticing. All right then. Well, let's go. There's no time to waste. When the Overlord of the Vortex was crushed by the Jade Chamber recently, perhaps something of interest was washed ashore. An ancient artifact would be good. Traces of ancient activity would be great.
Tipo tiene como algo entre manos. Entonces, ¿dónde tenemos que ir ahora? El despertar del vórtice. ¡Uy! Llegamos.
This place looks so ordinary. Can we really find anything valuable here?
Huh? Paimon thinks it looks really grand.
Momento palomita.
I don't mean the scenery, but rather that there should be something out of the ordinary. A big battle did just occur and all, and I don't even know where to begin looking here.
Guyan Stone Forest is actually the perfect place to be, if you wish to learn about the gods or the history of the Archon War. Legend has it that Rex Lapis threw spears made of large rock into the sea here, piercing and crushing the Overlord of the Vortex. After many years of wind erosion, those stone spears have turned into the unique rock formations we see now.
These mountains were the Lord of Geo's weapons?
What we see now is just the part of them that remains. The stone spears hurled by Rex Lapis, all those years, but due to the different angles they landed at, their large centers of mass, erosion by seawater, and years of gravity. So besides wind erosion, the initial collapsing of the stone spears also...
Well, a god able to fight one so powerful as Rex Lapis was certainly very strong in its own right.
Indeed. This is where the value lies in research at Guyan Stone Forest. Most of the objects from that time were lost to the sea. But the gigantic waves created by the Overlord of the Vortex...
So you're saying that if we look carefully, we'll be able to get very, very rich. I mean, rich with archaeological knowledge and historical value, yes? Well, since we brought so many people,
Okay then.
I will...
Me?
What's the matter? This is your profession. Why are you so surprised?
I get it. I'll escort him then.
Okay. If we find anything valuable or rare, let's meet on the shore opposite from here.
A ver, no, okay. Entiendo, la tipa se queda
The
callada y
ancient
no dice nada.
god
Usa la
probably
visión
left
elemental para
behind
buscar
lots of
reliquias.
elemental marks.
¿Y dónde?
Following them should make our search much easier.
Vamos allá.
Stabilize!
Stand clear! Horn to oblivion!
¿Qué falta? Cofrecito
Why are
gratis.
there enemies here?
Maniquí usado.
Guyan Stone
Bueno.
Forest is a place where a god was defeated.
Vamos para la
Its
reliquia ahora
remnants
que
still
está aquí.
affect the area to this day.
Está bueno, me caen atrás. Venga. Es un consomé con todo junto. Venga, venga.
Approaching! Animals actively awake! Shine down!
está bien. Que espere por mí ahí. Mira, un vaina. Por lápiz. A ver, llegaste de... Usa la... Ah, bueno, otro que mate este pendejito. No estaba haciendo nada, ¿verdad? Aunque estaba fuera de... Pero por si acá, por si acá. Estamos en el lado que tenemos que usar la visión elemental, ¿ok? La visión elemental hacia aquí. Hacia aquí. Encontramos dos mulos de pollo. A ver, hacia allá. Ah, ok, este. Un libro como... A ver, vamos a seguir buscando aquí.
Together here. But why?
See that object in the center? Perhaps it emits the remnant strength of the gods. That would certainly the hydromonic monsters. I have a contract and must put my personal feelings aside. Go ahead, defeat them, and recover the rest.
Bueno.
Stabilize! It's just a stone slab, but its design is quite unique. This should be enough to garner some information. Let's head back.
Vamos para allá, mi jefe.
You call yourself a scholar of archaeology? You can't even recognize this or that. What are you good for?
We all have our areas of expertise.
Oh, stop arguing! What?
This girl just keeps bragging about how she's an archaeologist, but she doesn't even know anything about the surrounding ruins. She left me to rely solely on guessing, experience, to find...
I've just been researching the god of salt, so I'm not familiar with sea relics. Is that so strange? And you kept asking about how much Mora everything is worth. Can the value of relics only be measured in Mora?
Isn't measuring their value in Mora the easiest way?
Now, calm down.
Mora y el otro,
No need to make a
como que no
fuss.
sabe de nada. Es una arqueóloga supuestamente.
Oh, what a shame. These objects were indeed washed ashore by the Overlord of the Vortex. The stone slab we found, however, has a mysterious pattern and faint aura of divine power.
Quick, give it to me.
Oh,
At least we didn't come for nothing. The power of the gods, yes! Oh, but these other objects are certainly worth a little something, right? It should be enough to cover the cost of hiring you. It's all mine.
ah, bueno.
So, it's only valuable for research if there are remnants of divine power?
Not at all. My quest to uncover the history of the god of salt is because history can tell us about culture and beliefs. But you're just trying to use archaeology to get rich.
Nonsense! I'm a professional archaeology researcher from Snezhnaya. I swear. If I'm lying, may the Lord of Geo strike me down.
Oh, by the way, you probably don't want to sell that
Yo
teacup.
tampoco entiendo nada.
Oh? Why's that?
That's not an ancient
Lo que
teacup.
entiendo es que
It's part of Ningguang's
están
collection.
recaudando
It must have fallen here along with
cosas
the
que tienen
jade
que ver
chamber.
con las armas de él
So
mismo.
unless you want to...
Pero no
I
entiendo.
see. What a shame.
See? You do want to sell these objects.
Entonces este quiere
So
hacerse...
what?
Todo lo
Why
que
can't I
habla es
pursue
en
wealth,
base
both
a dinero
intellectual and
con todo
material?
lo que
Don't
encuentra.
be...
A ver. Tenemos que ir allá.
I heard that Salterai was once the home of the god of salt's people. Therefore, there's...
According to
Lo que está
legend,
pensando en todo en
the
valor
people
y
of the
eso.
god of salt, Havria. But this legend has been around for ages, with the countless scrap collectors and treasure hoarders in the area. There probably aren't many valuable things left here.
Oh, good. That's just great. If I knew it was picked this clean before, I wouldn't have come.
About that, I know there's a ruin deep in this cave here. It's
Es
related
como
to
me
the
lo está
god of
diciendo como en la
salt,
cara.
which is
Estoy aquí
actually
por
how
el
the area
dinero, no estoy
originally got
aquí
its
por
name of
ninguna
Sal
investigación.
However, the ruin entrance has been sealed by a mysterious power. I found a mechanism that seemed to be related to the seal, but when I undid the mechanism... So at the moment, the seal's origin and how to break it are very important topics in my research on the god of salt. I don't know, there's no concrete evidence, but I'm pretty sure the seal is meant to hide some kind of long-forgotten truth. The god of salt was a benevolent god, adored by the people, not to mention powerful. She wouldn't have any kind of shameful secrets to hide. So, the one who wants to hide some truth is very possibly her killer, Morax.
This doesn't sound like something the Lord of Geo would do.
Who cares about all that? It sounds like countless treasures of the god of
Lo está
salt
diciendo
lie
en la
within
cara.
this ruin,
Eso
just
que
waiting
importa,
for
allá
someone
adentro
to
lo que
find
hay,
them,
todo
right?
tipo de tesoro de la diosa.
You weren't listening at all, were you?
Ah, but we have the illustrious Mr. Zhongli with us. He looks like he knows just about everything. A little
This seal seems to be quite ancient.
I may know something about it.
What?
Over the years, I've heard various rumors with bits of knowledge. Let's go take a look at the mechanism.
Okay, since Mr. Zhongli says so, follow me then.
A ver, una ruina bajo llave. Ve dónde se encuentra el primer mecanismo. A ver. El primer mecanismo. Y tenemos al frente un gilichur ahí super mamadísimo. A ver. Antes de pasar cerca, más cerca de él. Me llenar al señor Zhongli. Por qué coño, A coño. Ya, sí, vengan.
stabilize. This is order.
Illusion shattered!
Absorption test. Stay clear.
There is no escape! Torn to oblivion!
Yep. Qué falta.
I suppose this will do.
Cofrecito valioso. Nada mal. A ver. Seguimos. Por aquí, ¿no? Ayer andé toda esta zona también, porque aquí hay algo que... Una flor que anda por aquí, que es buena para crear cebo de... Para pescar. Para hacer moscas.
Here it is.
A ver,
There's some
llegamos.
debris scattered here that, when put together, look like they definitely had to do with the god of salt.
Ahí.
According to the inscription on the see that? Although we activated the mechanism, nothing happened to the seal.
That's because there's actually another mechanism that must be activated.
Another?
Let me lead the way from here.
Hey.
This place seems familiar. Huh, I remember. When I investigated the seal last time, but when we lit up all the elemental monuments?
That's because you don't just need to activate them at the same time. The secret to this puzzle is hidden in the legends about the Archon War. Tianheng in the south, Yaoguang in the east, Jueyun in the west, Qingce in the north. All desolate and devoid of life.
To the north, to the east. Do the people of Liyue always...
I think I've heard this saying.
Certainly you have. And the contents of this saying are also to provide a haven for her people, whose life at that time, and that haven she eventually...
Lo que dijeron antes, de
Okay,
izquierda a
enough
derecha,
with
tienen que ver para
Tianheng in the
activar el
south. With this
mecanismo.
clue.
Coño, no lo vi ahí otra vez. Estúpido. Ilumina los movimientos tal como indicó. Ve, lo sabía. A ver si aquí lo dice. Así mismo. Sur, o sea. Primero abajo. Derecha. Izquierda y arriba. están? ¿Dónde? No, los mecanismos están para acá. Vamos a eliminar a esta gente primero.
Absorption test. Animal test 6308.
Limpiamos el área. Mi jefe. Ay, mi madre.
Shine down.
Como el cofrecito. Y continuamos. Entonces ahora tenía que... Esto hay que formarlo. A ver, ¿cómo que están? 1, 2, 3. No hay más. 4. Y aquí atrae uno, ¿no? Sí, a ver, vamos a confirmar primero cómo están ubicados. Para no poner un huevo. 1, 2, 3. Y aquí había otro, ¿no? Aquí había abajo otro, ¿no? Dice, sur primero. Ok, uno aquí atrás. Sí. A ver, si estamos así. Este tiene que ser el primero que hay que activar. Sur. Este. Oeste, aquí. Y norte. ¿Verdad? Eso.
Look! The seal really was broken.
Ahora sí.
Mr. Zhongli is indeed quite remarkable.
It was nothing, really. Now, it's time that people learn the hidden truth lost to time.
Vamos a llevarlo. Llevarlo hasta allá. Más falta ahora que no aguante. Yo creo que queda. Que la estamina dura menos cuando yo tengo 8-1. Va como de prontito así rápido y se acaba de una. No sé por qué. Yo no sé si es por pura coincidencia, pero eso es lo que veo. A ver, nado con cualquiera y mira, la estamina ni casi se acaba. Pero cuando estoy jugando con ella como que va huyendo. Ya llegamos. A ver qué hay aquí.
Before entering the ruin, I have a proposal that will help us prevent the kind of senseless arguing between you two that we saw at Guyenstone Forest.
Guyenstone Forest.
Okay.
De acuerdo, ¿qué
What is it?
I propose you two agree upon a contract, stipulating that we alternate who gets claim to each treasure we... To show my sincerity,
Yo
I
tampoco
won't be
tomaré
taking any
ningún
treasure.
gente. Yo no voy a coger nada.
Don't pass an
No voy a coger
opportunity.
nada.
I
no voy a
don't
coger nada.
agree.
Pero
I mean,
él,
you want me to
ese
split
tipo
the
se quiere
treasure
llevar
with this
todos los
amateur
tesoros.
archaeologist?
I
A
don't
eso fue que él
agree
vino.
either. He will only defile the precious relics left behind by the god.
Well then, if the contract is not agreed upon, you will have to rely on your own experience to find whatever treasures are hidden in this
El calor
room,
está potente aquí de
as well
calor.
as traps.
You have the
bien
audacity
potente
to
de
demand
calor.
this. Okay then. Even half of the treasure in the long-sealed ruin of the God of Salt should be enough.
If you want me to
Él-
agree
él
upon
anda
this
buscando nada más
contract, so be it. I
Monis,
just have one request,
monis.
Mr. If we discover the truth behind the God of Salt,
I can accept this arrangement. Well then,
Ok, ya vamos para adentro. Bajo ruinas. Bajo llave, a ver. Oh. Yo no voy a entrar por acá, Con lápiz gratis, ¿no? Donde sea que va con lápiz, lo farmeo. Me sirve para que ching, me sirve para el mismo. Me sirve para el songlé. Ah, coño, mira otro ching ahí. Freemium, freemium. A ver, ¿qué más? Aquí hay más con lápiz. Me sirve, me sirve.
solidified!
There is no escape!
Condensado de Smite. A ver, allá había también. Vamos para acá, vamos para acá. El secreto de la sal. A ver. Nivel 82, bla, bla. Vamos para allá. ¿Ese equipo está bien? ¿O no hace falta una curandera? Yo creo que está bien el equipo, ¿eh? Yo creo que el equipo está bien así.
Are these statues?
No. These are people.
Mierda.
Ugh.
They were probably followers of the god of salt.
How did they come this way?
What in the world is hidden deep in this ruin?
Stand clear.
¿Qué prueba? ¿Cómo que
Illusion
prueba?
shattered.
¿Cómo que prueba a zombie? ¿Cómo ponemos a...? Bueno, está a nivel 82 este sobre. El mío está a nivel... A ver, coño, ¿cómo? Ah, bueno, sí. Es que no escala, ¿eh? ¿Qué ha pasado?
Quake!
Look at this! It's filled halfway with salt.
Oh, it just looks like a fancy salt holder.
Solo un
Seems
salero
like the god
elegante.
of
Parece que la
salt
diosa
was
del
a
sal
god
es una
lacking in
divinidad que
treasures.
carecería de tesoros.
According to my knowledge, it's no ordinary vessel. Although it is only half full.
What? You're saying that even if I pour the salt out, the amount...
Exactly.
Able to produce endless salt. The god of salt is powerful indeed.
Finally. After all that effort, I've found I just need to pour the endless salt into 1,000 or 10,000 bags.
Hey! How can you use a relic of the god of salt for such...
If Mr. Clement wants this salt chalice, then the next object we find will belong to Miss Wanyan.
Of course, as we agreed. But how can anything be worth more than this rare find?
Since we have a contract, it's no use for me to fight with him.
Then let's move on, shall we?
Continuamos. El zombie es el protagonista de esto, ¿eh? Lo ponemos adelante. Ah, ya entendí.
Rise!
A ver. Esta reliquia rara.
Just a simple ruler. It doesn't look to be worth anything.
This, if I remember correctly, this is some kind of measuring tool.
Indeed. But the god of salt imbued it with another power. When you stick this ruler in the ground, the surrounding area will become covered in salt. The deeper it is stuck in the ground, the more salt will appear.
That's even better than the salt chalice!
Well then, according to our contract, the salt ruler goes to Miss
La regla
Wanyan.
de sal le pertenece a la señora Wanyan.
No, unacceptable. I paid for and organized this entire expedition. Why should I get the short end of the stick? And this girl has been useless. Why would she get anything?
Oh boy. Here we go again.
So you are saying you want to break the
So what if I break it? Now that I've seen how the mechanisms in this ruin work, I no longer need you. Let's not forget who
¿Quién le
hired
parte la
who
cara?
here. Why should I let you make the rules?
Because you agreed to a contract. Rex Lapis once said, ones who break their contracts.
That is one of your Liyue gods. I am from Snezhnaya. I
Will suffer the wrath of the rock.
Solidify!
I will have order.
There is no escape! Torn to oblivion!
Quake!
I shall confiscate your treasure as well. You are not worthy to continue any further into the ruin. Leave this place.
Oh, darn you! Just you wait.
Ok.
Some archaeological survey. He could only pretend for so long. Yeah, good thing Paimon can smell a liar from a mile away.
Okay.
Clement's wrongdoing stemmed from greed.
El
yes.
deleznable comportamiento de
But
Clement
besides
se debe a la
greed,
codicia si
when
el
people
tipo
see
era
the
muy
object,
codicioso.
I think we should... That in
Y
truth,
sufrió la regla del peñón.
Miss, you aren't interested in archaeology or relics. I believe those legends about the god of salt that you mentioned on the Pearl Galley are passed down between generations.
Okay, that's enough. Sir, you are indeed a man of great knowledge and talents. I seem to have been right to seek you out once. You're right. I'm not a scholar
Vengo
of
de una de las 8
archaeology.
industrias bajo la jurisdicción de las 7
I
estrellas.
come
el
from one of the
Salón
8
Miñón,
trades
la
under the
industria
jurisdiction of
salinera.
our ancestors were those protected by the god of salt all those years ago, when the Archon War engulfed the land in chaos.
Oh, right! Now that you mention it, the people of Liyue very seldom use the name Morak.
During the war, Morax assassinated our god out of envy for her power. He
Y
left
ella
us
sigue con lo
alone and
mismo sin
lost in the
saber.
world. We hate him! But this is Morax's Liyue after all. So I seek proof of Morax's guilt. He has blood on his hands and cruelty in his heart.
Y él es Morax.
We agreed to a contract that we will face the truth head on, didn't we, Mr. Zhongli? You must.
Naturally, of course. But I must add, Liyue is no longer Morax's Liyue. Come with me. All the answers you seek lie ahead.
Sigue explorando. Sigue explorando, ok. Yo creo que si vuelo. No lo voy a intentar. Se ve que está muy lejos.
Rise!
¡No! ¿Qué? Ah. ¿Pero qué, mi gente? ¿Encuentran bien?
Stay clear! Absorption test! Shine down!
Ah, bueno. Ahí está.
You will pay for that.
Bueno.
Animal 6308!
This is order.
Illusion shattered! Now you shall perish!
¡Coño! No lo puedo creer.
Shine down! Absorption test!
Me hice la última justamente cuando desapareció. A ver, ¿qué es esto acá? Una espada. Parece estar
This is-
totalmente rota.
It's a broken sword. This is proof. This proves that the god of salt had to fight back. Fight back against the evil Morax. But sadly, she was defeated. The power of this sword surely is much greater than that of the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler. If we can repair the sword, then we can show the world the mighty power of the god of salt.
It does look like something left behind after being defeated in
Parece un
battle.
objeto abandonado tras una
Two
batalla.
pieces of a broken sword. From
Son
an
dos reliquias. De
archaeological
acuerdo al
perspective, these are
contrato,
two
solo puedes
separate
reclamar
relics.
una de las partes.
Why? We were alternating claims to treasure, true. But Clement is no
Ahora
longer
te la quiere
here.
llevar entera.
Yes, but the only one object per claim clause still holds true. You cannot take two relics at the same time.
This logic!
Zhongli, she seems like a good person, and
When there's a contract, nothing can be allowed to slide. If the contract is not followed,
No! If I only take one half, then it can't be repaired, and the power of the god of salt cannot be restored. No matter what, I must be faithful to her.
Ah, bueno.
Even if it breaks the contract, I don't care.
so you are already decided? Then there is a price to pay for breaking the contract.
Zhongli!
También te van a
That
dar
is
tu
to
paliza.
say, you consign yourself to suffer the wrath of the rock.
That's okay. The god of salt gave up her life to protect her people. Punish me however you want. Just let me take this proof of my faith.
No, you can't hit her!
Perhaps that punishment would be easier for her. As punishment, I will tell you the truth.
Huh? The truth? You mean the truth is my
Vamos a ver
punishment?
la verdad por
Yes.
fin.
The truth that I am about to tell you. I'm afraid to say that the god of salt, Havria, was not the powerful god you imagine her to be. Rather, she was a small and weak god who yielded to all other gods. When it came to war, she lost, never able to win a seat among the...
What?
During the Archon War, the gods of this world used all their strength and cunning to vie for control of Tevat. But Havria instead chose to flee. She thought that by giving up before a fight could start, she could save herself and her people from the war. However, during such a long war, there is no end to the advances of aggressors. After making countless concessions, Havria lost all of her lands, until only one small haven remained.
No. No!
In her last days, she had not even a single blade to defend her people with.
Not even a single blade? Then... this sword...
This sword is not a relic belonging to the god of salt, but is instead the murder weapon used to kill her.
Murder weapon? No! That's not true! That can't be true! You're trying to tell...
As I said before, I only state the facts.
Preposterous! You are a
Preposterous.
follower of Morax! Don't try to trick me!
Ah, bueno. No le gustó la verdad.
Hey,
Él lo dijo.
hey, come back!
It is a punishment after all. I did not want to tell her such cruel facts. Let's follow her deeper into the ruin. There, I fear, we will find something that will leave her no choice but to...
O sea, que la diosa del azar al final era una pendeja. Alcanza a Wanya. A ver, ¿dónde está? Por aquí.
Are these statue thingies
Ah, coño.
running? What will we find ahead?
Salt. And betrayal.
Sal y traición. ¿Y qué prueba? ¿Qué pruebe de qué? En verdad sí, parece que está corriendo. Parecen estar corriendo todos.
What are all these? What did they see? What did they do? What happened?
Since you do not trust me, let us continue onward. That which lies beyond this door will show you all that happened back then.
El misterio. Habla con Wanya y descubre la verdad.
This is the scene of the crime. Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. The story continues that some among her people realized at last that this gentle, kind but weak god, the Archon War, was cruel in the extreme. Instead of consigning her to the agony of defeat.
But what about these statue things?
No matter how weak the god, the power that flows forth when they are slain, those who could not flee, those of her people who were untouched by this disaster left for Liyue. Their descendants feared Havria's remnants and lived in terror, so they
O sea
risked
que
their
cuando ella
lives to
murió,
come
todos se
here
convirtieron en sal
to break the sword
porque estaban cerca.
and offer up obeisances, but they need not have done so. For how could a god who had never once resisted?
This must be a lie. Don't you dare try to...
Ah, bueno. Ah, bueno, no quiero escuchar la verdad ahora.
Zhongli didn't show any mercy this...
This is the price she must pay. Yet I would not call it a bad thing. Judging by how she appeared, I fear that she will struggle for a time. But even if she may not escape that struggle immediately. Indeed, in ages past, Havria's story served as a warning to me. Faith in a god who has already passed will do. So it is for Havria. And so it is for Morax also. All right then. Now, would you like to accompany me in taking a trip to Gullion Forest?
La voz de
What
Zhongli
do
es
you
muy
want to
dura.
do, Zhongli?
Treading old ground, telling old stories. One cannot help but be reminded of old acquaintances.
Claro, ya lo completé. Bueno. Vamos a ver. A ver qué tiene el señor Zhongli que decir, ¿no? Habla con Zhongli en el bosque de piedra. Ok, el bosque de piedra se encuentra hacia allá. Por fin. Dígame, señor Zhongli, entonces.
Now, I mentioned before that many gods of old have been sealed beneath the Gullion Forest. The Adepti have presently handed Liyue over to mortals, and Havria's time was even further in the past. The Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler that she left behind should not return to Liyue. To leave them here is to let them slumber. And it is also a homecoming.
Entonces, ¿qué quiere que hagamos?
I ended an era with my own two hands. I've always wondered how I should...
Como algo bueno.
History records, but history may be changed. This incident proved that. I need to find a better way of recording history. Stone carvings were one such ancient method. But unchanging stone, immovable earth, even one such as myself.
Zhongli...
Therefore, I thought of you, traveler. You are one who crosses the celestial atlas, and who passes through countless worlds. If our history is engraved in your memory, as long as a traveler like you is able to record what happened, then a backup of sorts will exist for times and tides of to that.
Sounds like tough work.
Now then, it is time that we consigned both the Salt Chalice and...
Huh? Why do we need to throw them into the sea?
As I said before, this is the place to which the remnants of many bygone gods are This includes Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who the Jade Chamber most recently returned to this ocean prison.
Ocean. Interesante.
Thousands of years ago, the Adepti and I fought against the turmoil that plagued every corner of this land. Guyan Stone Forest, where I sealed many gods with my spears. After so long, naught but folk tales remain. Oh, sire, you and I were foes, but our ancient grudge is but a bygone memory now. May that which Havria has left behind be yours to subsume. And thus another spark of divinity departs from Liyue. My legacy shall now be left to those who come after to debate.
¡Terminamos! Perfecto.